In today's video, I want to show you more about how I set up my blog section inside of LightFunnels. In my previous video, I showed you how I basically put all my website content onto LightFunnels because it is an amazing platform. The pages load really fast and I do not have to do any kind of optimization for that part. But there are also a few downsides and I want to show you how I resolved a few of them at least. So what I did is for this funnel, for this blog, I created a new funnel. And this funnel, if we go back, you will see it's just a blog section. So I have my main website here, right? And then I have my blog section. If we go inside the blog section itself and go inside the settings, you will see that I set my funnel name to blog and then my funnel URL to blog/blog as well. Then if I go inside the starting page, you will see that I have a pretty long page URL already. So I have my domain name, then /blog/overview. The subdomain that I used is articles.markvandermeet.com. So if we read out this entire URL, it would be articles.markvandermeet.com/blog/overview. And that's a really long, that's basically a really long URL for just displaying the main section of my blog, right? So as you can see here, this is my main blog section. I just finished my first blog article and more will be displayed as soon as I have them. But for now, I will just have these available. So that long URL is not really user-friendly also when just displaying it or going there, right? So it looks pretty unprofessional. So what I did is I went back towards the settings. I went to the domain settings. And as you can see here, I have my subdomain articles.markvandermeet.com and the connected blog funnel. What I did is I redirected this subdomain back to my primary domain, which is www.markvandermeet.com. So this is my main domain. What it does is this redirect basically skips the articles.subdomain, right? And redirects back to the root domain. So instead of having a really long URL like articles.markvandermeet.com/blog/overview, you now only have markvandermeet.com/blog, which is a normal way of showing that URL if you go towards a blog section, right? So if I go to my website right now, as you can see here, I have just two tabs for now, home and the blog. But if I go and press towards my blog overview, you will see that I just have markvandermeet.com/blog. And otherwise it would be articles.markvandermeet.com/blog/overview. So that's a pretty long URL, right? So I was able to solve that by redirecting the subdomain back towards the primary domain. And it's much more user-friendly. So if I go towards this read more section now, you will see that the article itself, this is the entire article. And then once you take a look at the URL, it has a normal structure. So we have the main root domain, markvandermeet.com/blog, and then / the article it contains. So it looks much more like, for example, a WordPress blog, for example, the URL structure. And the way that I set up this blog post is basically creating my own template, as it were. So if I go back, let's go towards the blog funnel. If I go inside, you will see that some things are overlapping here in the preview, right? And if we take a look at the front end, you will see it overlapping correctly. So I have this featured image, I have my title, the author, and basically the date that it's been written. So that is already there. Inside the preview, it looks totally different, right? So I use custom CSS to create my own extra CSS settings, my styling at least. So you could do this with the native styling inside of LightFunnels, but I want to have a little bit more consistency. So if we take a look here, for example, all my text, all my regular text have a certain custom class called content. And soon as I apply this class, I have some custom CSS in the main funnel settings that allows for a little bit more space. So if we take a look here, you see it's really close toward the GIF, right? So we have this, so are you ready to learn how to increase those conversions? And it's pretty much attached to this GIF. But if we take a look at the front end, you will see it has a little bit more space. So what I did is for each individual text piece, my normal paragraphs and stuff like that, I just attached the class called content. What I did inside the main funnel settings is I went inside the custom scripts and I added my own little custom CSS. And soon as this tag will be applied, right, this class will be applied to any element, it will auto implement all of these CSS settings. So basically this is my style sheet for the entire funnel page, right? So if I implement the content here as well, the custom class called content, then it will auto inherit all these settings that I set up inside the style sheet. And all this allows for all the pages to be in sync with all the exact same margins, the exact same border radiuses, and anything you want to set up. It basically fetches everything from these custom scripts, which is fantastic because it saves so much time in trying to redo that for every single piece inside of a page. You can just use this custom script and then build out your own CSS classes this way. So all the main text elements inside of, as you can see here, inside of the main overview. So the text will have custom classes called content. And here you will see an issue with these two overlapping. So as you can see here, the backend is a little bit different than the preview, the real outcome here, right? So what I did is I wanted to overlap certain elements because of the stacking, basically. This overlaps my main title box and my author and my release date, right? So what I did is I went in and gave this section a certain class called blog intro. And as you can see here, this section that containing my blog title, the author and the release date has a custom class of blog title. So what I did is I went into the settings of this page, went to the custom HTML, and I played around with a little bit more CSS. So as you can see here, I have my blog.title and I set the Z index, basically the stacking context, I set it to 100. What I did then is the blog/intro. So the basically this element that you have right here, right? I set that to a lower Z index that allows me to stack the content a little bit better. And actually now I think about this, I could just grab all of this, just delete this. So hopefully this works, otherwise it will really look stupid. Let's just save this. So as you can see, the stacking context has been reset and you see this blog intro basically stack on top my blog title and description. So what I'm going to do is I'm going into the funnel custom scripts and just apply those CSS that I did on the page only, because I wanted to apply on every single page that I connect inside this funnel, and I'm going to press save. So let's see if this works. If I refresh the page, and you can see that the stacking context has been reset again. But being able to build out your blog post inside of LightFunnels, it's actually pretty easy to do. So you just create a funnel with a new subdomain, you redirect that subdomain towards the primary domain, and then it will basically replace the subdomain and point it back towards the root. And you will be able to build out your blog section any way you wish, just like with a regular one. So this is how I set up my blog section inside of LightFunnels. Also applied some custom CSS to be applied on every single page, and every single item that contains this certain class will auto inherit all these features, right? So if you have any questions, do let me know in the comment section down below. If you did like this video, do consider dropping a like, because it will help me out and determine what kind of videos you most prefer on my channel. And if you want to get notified about more videos going live, do press that subscribe button and the bell notification to the right of it. For now, have a great day, take care, and I'll talk to you soon.